Battleborn, and Gearbox enthusiasts, and maybe folks that are finding us for the first time. Well done. Come on over and hang out with us. We are very excited to have you all here today to discuss
Kid Ultra.
Kid Ultra. But first, I'm going to introduce you to myself as well as my lovely co-host for today. I'm Elisa Melendez, also known as Elisa Rockdog, the Gearbox new media manager, and I am here with Chuck Bartholomew. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
As well as the illustrious Randy Varnell. How you doing?
I'm well.
Oh, see, there you go.
I don't know what I was doing with that, but
Awesome.
there we are.
Here we are. And yes, by the way, for those folks that are wondering in the chat, it is that Chuck. Yeah,
Yes.
that Chuck.
Yes, it is.
Hello, and welcome to everybody in the chat. Also, special shout out to the Only Tachyon and his crew who might be hanging out with us in the chat today. We had a nice, fun visit with him during his stream today, so...
Kind of raided that.
Yeah, we did a little bit of a Gearbox raid on his stream, so thank you very much for that, and that's super awesome. So what we're going to do is, I know you were all very, very excited to learn more about Kid Ultra as well as see him in action, but we have a little business to take care of first.
Yes.
We do have a little business to take care of first, so Kid Ultra is coming soon, but we do have some things that you are able to enjoy today in the form of some taunts.
New taunts. In fact, while we were with the one tachyon, right? That's the name. Is it going to the right?
The one, the
only tachyon.
The only tachyon.
We'll get that right in a second. While we were with him on his stream, he actually downloaded or logged out for a second, got the new update that went today to get the taunts live.
Yes.
And here they are. We're showing them to everybody.
Let's have a little chat about these. We have...
There's a new Galilea, really cool spin move into a cool sword strike.
Yeah. What's Galt doing? Is he whipping?
Galt is, I believe Galt is doing a little whip and a little nene right there.
He can both whip and nene.
He does.
So you can watch him do both, which is great.
Montana's like playing with his chain.
Yeah, he's showing off a little bit. We'll show off.
And remember, you can see these. This is what they look like in third person, just like we do with everything. When you play them in game, we do some extra camera work, so you'll see
Zoom in on his face.
Right. So the Montanas will make a little bit more sense in there. And there's that. I think we have one or two others, did we not?
We do have more. Oh wait, there's more.
So we've already showed off a little bit. There's Raina, there's Whiskey. Now that one was on the stream a few weeks ago, but it is now live for everyone, and a really awesome new Rindy taunt as well.
Yes.
Watch these, but that Whiskey taunt is something else.
Yeah, it is.
So it was awesome. I think we were watching some people go right to the store and buy that one to take it to a match. So
I definitely feel like that was going to be a bit of a fan favorite.
Raina cool in there with her gun, and Whiskey doing his thing, and then I love the arms on Arindy here. So more taunts for everyone. Those are live now.
They're live now. You can go get them. I mean, watch us. Then maybe open up a new window or something, and then go get them. But yes, they are live now, and also we have a couple more. There's more. There's more.
All right.
Hey.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. We were watching this earlier. Awesome
So
Melka
good.
dance, and then Wrath. I think one of his lines he actually talks about removing a hangnail there on his little nail file with his sword. But
I don't think it's safe with a
sword
that large.
well, he licked one of his taunts is him licking the sword.
That's true.
Oh.
That's one of my favorite taunts. Is one of the first ones we showed for him. My sword's mine now.
Yeah. That's
bad idea.
That one's really fun with the ice cream skin.
Yes.
Because he licks the ice cream.
Yeah, that's great. But these are a bunch of new taunts for everyone, so really glad to get these out. I didn't know we were releasing so many all at once, so happy Halloween, everybody.
There you go. That's perfect. And speaking of kind of costumes,
yes,
potentially, we do have some first few questions in the chat.
Cool.
They felt like they were kind of inspired by Arendi's look here. Someone was wondering if there is a way for Arendi to get like a jester, kind of like a little jester getup.
That's a good question. We'll take that under advisement. It's funny. I'm on the stream with marketing. I always use marketing as an excuse when I can't talk about future content, like ninjas will descend and decapitate me and all of that.
Yes,
and you're the one who asked me the question. So let me just say that's a good idea. That's a good idea, and we'll see about that for a future content update.
To which someone in the chat replies, "Yes, please," in all caps. So there you go. In case you're wondering if there was any demand. We
are always looking for ideas. In fact, I'll just use this moment. I love ideas from the community. You guys can always share ideas with us on Reddit or on the Battleborn forums. We love to watch those. We love to see what you guys are interested in, and we are watching what you are getting and what you're using. So let us know what you like and what you want, and we'll use that to influence future decisions.
I could just watch Whiskey Foxtrot forever.
Yeah.
Potentially, that is just something else.
I'm sure somewhere in the Battleborn universe, in a back corner of Nova's cabins, D&D has that on a loop.
Yeah. Interesting. So just put that in my.
There's a little lore shout out for that. That is. Oh, it's absolutely canon. They talk about there's lore items that there's unlockable lore items that talk about possible relationships. They keep it quiet though. It's. Anyway.
Everything and tell us about it. All right, perfect. So these are available now. You can go ahead and grab them. These are fantastic, right? However, the reason we are here today is for Kid Ultra. So what we are going to do now is potentially take you through a tour of Kid Ultra's origins, kind of see the progression of how we started and how we got to be the awesome Magnus that we see today. Wow, who is this?
So this is
this looks different.
We've shown this a couple of times before for other characters, and it's we for a long time in Battleborn, literally since about we worked on the game for about 4 years, and about the second year of development, we kind of got into this flow when we were coming up with character ideas. And this is kind of the template that several of our concept artists really adopted. And when they were coming up with initial pitches for characters, this is how those pitches would be shared with us. So when I've talked about on streams before, we literally have hundreds of these. I'm not joking. We've got hundreds of sketches about like this and we love this because, you've got both kind of the first just general visual idea of what it is, a pitch on the name. We always know that we're going to throw away the first dozen names we come up with for a character.
Yes.
And then, we always want to sketch out an idea of what the play loop would be like. What are the big important parts of that? And then every one of them, you were talking about this yesterday, Chuck, and we were looking at this. It reminds me, every one of them at the bottom has a picture of that character kind of in an action pose doing an attack or something.
Yes.
Really?
Well, Eric Dosher specifically who did this one. I think he went through a series of like 100 of these pitches that he did, where he had like the character that he was pitching attacking someone else. And for a long time, it was Marquis.
Right.
And then eventually someone offed Marquis, and then it was Miko for a while. And it was always just like a little funny.
So those are
at the bottom. Those
are awesome. One of these days, I would love to come back and cut all those out and collect all of them and share them because there's some really really fun stuff in there.
If you put them all together, can you form like a flip book?
You maybe. I mean, you have to work at it, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
So this literally is the very first idea, and I think with Kid Ultra especially, we knew when we were looking at the characters after the first launch 25, and we're looking for the next 5 characters that we wanted to put out. We kind of had a general idea that LLC needs a support. Cleese had kind of been a support up to that point. Cleese is kind of a weird support. He builds things and puts things in the area.
Very territorial.
So we wanted something that if Cleese is territorial, how do we do something that more like a Reyna, more like a Lonnie is a little bit more mobile support and gets out there, but you don't really think of healing with the LLC, and shielding is really kind of already covered with Cleese. So we wanted to get some of that in there. So how do we get that in the universe?
Right.
So go ahead and flip to the next slide, and we can show where we move from that.
Oh wow.
So do you want to talk a little bit about this, Chuck?
Sure. This is kind of just a little bit of exploration. Once we've decided we're going to do this sidekick character, kind of the thing that stuck the most for me. I forget who said it. Maybe it was Eric who drew the initial concept. But someone said the phrase "Every Battleborn needs a Robin," And to me, that just really stuck as like this. That's the point of this character. Is this character is like if you're playing couch co-op, you invite a friend over who hasn't played before. Maybe they sit next to you and pick whatever character, and this is who you pick to go alongside them and help them out.
And you can even see here in the ideas that we've got that we actually explored, and we do this a lot when we do that. We take that initial concept from a character, and then we're like, okay, is he pure robot? Is he pure boy? Is he some mix and some hybrid? And we start to explore the ideas that we're talking about and a little bit of like his gameplay and how it works in this. So we even have kind of a part concept here, a real rough kind of thumbnail sketch that is like, what if Robin appeared, in the Battleborn universe?
What
and
if
how
he
that
was
worked?
just a straight up superhero sidekick?
Yeah, let's look at the next slide here, because you're going to see this progress even more as we go along.
Yeah, someone mentioned that the sort of Buster Brown Victorian version almost looks like a little mini marquee.
Yeah.
There's, there are definitely common visual elements through all the LLC, and so whenever we move from like the initial in fact, I think that initial concept for him had been pitched more peacekeepers. You see kind of the peacekeeper colors and the armor and stuff on him. And when we finally slotted in, like, no, this needs to go in the LLC. It's like, okay, how can we take those ideas and concepts, pull it into the LLC, get that the white and the gold with that kind of glowing aquamarine.
I think you're right, because this is definitely like, how do we get this character more in line with the visual aesthetic of the LLC?
And so after we kind of get some things that we start to centralize on, then we come up with something more like the next slide we'll look at here. So here we're like, okay, we're starting to get the elements of the LLC we like, but now we're asking the question, okay, he's a sidekick. So he's going to be probably smaller in stature. We also wanted, after Cleese is a big, round, massive object on the screen, we're like, okay, support characters usually need to have an advantage in secondary. Cleese is actually a really difficult support character to balance. And a lot of people remember kind of Cleese at open beta and then at launch, and how much challenge we've had kind of getting him to a good place, because he's so big and he kind of is floaty when he moves and all of that. And it's really important because he is territorial. You don't want him to be as fast as other characters. But with this guy, we wanted someone that again is a little bit more compact, a little bit faster. Not as small maybe as a Rindy. I mean, he's got with his armor and everything, has a little bit more of that profile like a boulder, who's small but a little bit of bulk to him. But you start to see us exploring here, and we have some. We're like, how long are his legs? How long are his arms? Is he really tiny? Is he big? And all that. And
a lot of this also is exploring like how human is he? Is he a human being in like a robot suit, or is he straight up a robot?
Like you see number 14, it really is almost like a kid in mech armor. All the right side is over there. Yeah. The bottom, you have some ones that are, it's more hybrid, but you even have like number 8 there and number 7 that are really like, there's not much kid in this.
Yeah, that's almost more like a Isaac concept, where it's just like a Magnus inside of a robot.
And you can see there where we really started to land there was on F, and then on 9F particularly, where you really start to see the shape coming out and like, oh man, that looks really cool. So move on to the next screen, and you can see this take even another step forward. So, at this point in concept, we're like, we really like this shape. Yeah. And so we'll take that, we said, this is the shape we want. Now let's really work on making it distinct in that shape. So here you see us doing, what we do kind of a concept, a full turnaround explore of the character. We'll do him with like armor pieces off, so you can say, how, and we came to a conclusion with Kid Ultra that, I think this was the time that, we're writing the lore, we're coming up with the background, you're working on the design and the gameplay and all that. And we all kind of came together and like, you know what? It turns out he's not an organic at all. He's not a kid, and we started to come with the idea. You know what? He's an action figure that now has an embedded AI that's really it's like the best action figure ever. And we start to play with that lore, and that's actually where we ended up. He was in the lore. Kid Ultra is made by Phoebe because Marquis was a little bit more of an aggressive kind of bodyguard rather than a kid companion. I think the Kid Ultra in the lore, it talks about he was kid friendly, ultra dependable. It's like a marketing slogan for him, and we truncate that down. There was actually like a week where he was kid friendly for the name, and I think we played around with that.
Somebody said kid friendly, and that kind of stuck, but it was a little bit too much of a joke, I think.
Right. So we moved back to Kid Ultra, which again, gets the whole idea that he was an action figure created either for or because of a really popular series in the LLC universe, like almost 100 seasons of episodes, I think, in the battle plan lore. By the way, if you're a big lore plan in the battle plan, there's a little bit more origin story of Kid Ultra teased out there today, so you guys can read on that. But we do, go ahead.
This was also the point when I was working with Eric Dosher, the artist again. We were trying to figure out what does this guy do, kind of nail that down. And so, like, if you look in the concept here, he's got some rockets that come out of his arm. He's got this kind of helicopter drone thing going on. And then right there in the center, you'll see he kind of folds up into kind of a hover mode. Yeah. And we'll get into more details about those in a little bit. But that's what he does.
That is what he does. So we have a lot of folks that are kind of really into this whole lore situation.
Oh yeah.
So can we explain? Phoebe made Kid Ultra.
She did. You know, Phoebe has always been kind of the adventure inventor in our universe, and she made and patented the technology for her swords. That we originally called Phoebe the Mage Blade, and it's a strange infusion of almost eldritch magic into her. But Kid Ultra, as part of Phoebe is a Hemsworth, and in the LLC faction across the Last Light Consortium. There are multiple kind of corporate entities. We call them guilds or guildships, right, in the Arc Fleet. And the Hemsworths are the most prominent. They're the most wealthy. They control. Her father is a trade lord. In fact, you can earn the title trade lord in the game as an LLC title if you play that.
Nice.
Talks about a little bit of that. But Phoebe, kind of as an heiress to the seed of the Hemsworth dynasty and all of that, spends her excess cycles as a young teenager, then an older teenager, inventing. And so she patents a lot of stuff. And Kid Ultra was part of her invention, the robot suit and how it works and what he does. But in our universe, we have this concept of AIs that are not only self-aware, but they're kind of randomly generated. We call them Magnuses. Marquis is certainly one. Magnuses. Right.
Magnuses. So you heard it here first. The canonical plural of Magnus.
At least today. I mean, canonical plural of Magnuses and the gender of Miko are the great mysteries of our universe. But but that's where we're going to get. Anyway. So Phoebe creates this, he becomes a star and it was mass produced at one point, but every one of these is designed to be not just a child's toy, but also a friend, a guardian, a protector. They're created with the ability to not only kind of supervise and take care of, but to reenact scenes, but to heal the kids. Kids are prone to bumping into stuff and getting all that. And so what every LLC parent wants is a Kid Ultra.
Excellent. That's fantastic. And you can see a little bit of a hint of those origins in the battle plan today.
In the battle plan today, and actually as you pay attention watching him in his dialogue, you'll hear a lot of dialogue that are like ripped right out of those cartoon episodes. So like a lot of our Magnus in the universe, Marquis and Minrek and even Nova to a degree, and the Sentries and all that, when they were disconnected from the big controlling entity, the Magna Carta, they all had this moment where they had to all of a sudden reconcile their own existence, and it affected them all in different ways. That's when Marquis resigned his post as butler caretaker of Phoebe and said, "On my own, hobos," and took off. Kid Ultra gets kind of trapped in his own cartoon world. Wow. So he's still like gonna help everybody, gonna save the day and all of that, but I think
part of him thinks he actually is.
I believe he does.
A superhero.
So it ends up working really well for that whole mentality of the support character. It really lets us, again, with what we love just generally at Gearbox, to really throw our hearts out to things that we really love. There's a little Mega Man in him. There's a little Robin in him. There's the classic kind of kid superhero that's in fact
the little Transformers
in him, and I love that. He's optimistic. He's friendly. I mean, he is friendly, and you hear that, but he's ready for battle too. He's ready to fight for justice. And
so cute.
You'll get that image too. So I think I'm really excited about it. I've been excited. A lot of us have been excited about Kid Ultra for a long time. So what else do we have to look at?
Yeah. So folks are asking, when Kid Ultra grows up, does he become Magnus Man.
That's awesome. Oh, that's a good one. Whoever said that.
what you did
It's on a
there.
Battleborn stream, so it is trademarked and property of Gearbox Software.
That's awesome. See what you did there.
That's really
And
good.
we
That's
liked it.
that's a good joke.
That sounds like a
is
good skin
fantastic.
idea for the future.
Ooh, actually, speaking of skins, if we could just like go back a second to another thing that we had last week. Last
Yes.
week we had the Atticus and the Thrall Rebellion stream. It came out, and you know, showing off the taunts that are available today. You know, it's inspired a lot of ideas in the chat. One of them, by the way, just to sort of put in your little feather in your cap, put in your back pocket for later. Someone suggested the Oscar Mike with lipstick. As a potential skin.
The damsel in distress.
I've heard the mic in distress. We'll see on that one. That's a great one. I would also love. I've heard requests for the Umbra with the
Yes.
the cigarette, the femme fatale garb on.
Of course, that's a great one.
And that would be a good one too. And I would really love one of these days. I'd really love to get Atticus with a fedora, but some of those are a little trickier. We'll have to see what we can do there. So I can't promise anything,
We
but
can't make any promises whatsoever. But wow, those are some great ideas.
Yeah.
Of course. Let's see what we have. Ooh, okay.
So this is a stage where we, as we go through the stages where we've gone from concept now to modeling. This is a high poly kind of. It's not finished. It doesn't have the final textures on it yet. It doesn't have the final effects on it, which make up a lot of that. But
This is a near complete high poly of the model. There were a couple more tweaks that happened after this stage, but you can see on his one arm, he's got kind of some panels that open up for his rocket launcher. On the other arm, there's kind of a circle there
for his bolas.
That's for the bolas, which we actually I don't think have mentioned yet, but that's one of his skills also. And then that circle on his chest, that's where his drone pops out.
Whoa, cool.
So get into gameplay now. So let's move on. So he did progress from this, and when you see the final Kit Ultra, I mean, here we are.
Look at him go.
Again, we've got the final materials. He's got the cool little visor that goes down. He's got the light up bits, the emissive bits that light up and show the effects. He's got his wings up and all of that.
Yeah.
And some final, touch up and tweaking from the artist just to make all of the shapes and colors pop. So
looks super cool. But let's get into what he can do.
All right.
All right. Let's get into the nitty gritty here. Cool.
All right, so first of all, I think we have for his weapon, his rocket gauntlet. He's got like some of our other characters. You have a kind of a primary and secondary mode of fire, and both of them use his rocket gauntlet. And his primary fire is he just fires one rocket at a time. He's got, I think, 6 to start with. You can upgrade that later.
Now, these are a lot smaller rockets than like Benedict fires.
Oh yeah, they fire faster. They don't do as much damage. Right. But it's kind of a quick fire rocket launcher.
Yes.
And then his secondary, his kind of alt fire, is he shoots 3 of them at once.
Yeah, and I really love what you did with that because he shoots. You'll see his arm come out. The little levers on his arm stick up at the same time.
His whole arm spins around when you use that, and it kind of spins all of them.
It fires the volley of 3, and you actually see them do it does the swirl as they fly in.
That's right.
So that's his rocket gauntlet. What else does he have? And rocket vortex, which we have. We passed through real quick.
That rocket vortex actually that started as one of his skills originally. Originally, his weapon was the bolas, where he would throw those. But because it feels weird to throw bolas at people and not have some sort of CC associated, just because of the real world bolas, we moved that into the skill, and so he's got his rocket vortex, which was a skill, which is now just his old fire.
Cool. Let's look at the next thing. We'll talk some more details about that stuff. We can talk. Chuck and I can talk about this all day.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
We could, and I know that at some point we are going to really want to see him in action. So real quick, let's move through some of these skills, and then we will get into some gameplay.
All right. So his bola snare is he fires some bolas out of
his left arm.
Right. And that's a projectile that actually passes through all of the enemies in a straight line in front of him. And everything that it hits, it does damage and it slows.
Cool.
So again, gives him some control of that, sitting in the back, doing support, pinging enemies from a distance.
And then there's some upgrades to that, kind of similar
Yep.
to Galt's hook, where you can get it to go out in 3 in front of you. He's got one, I think, that makes it bounce off walls and
Yep.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Played
there's a
with that one
lot
today.
of cool upgrades for that. His support drone.
This is really cool.
Yes.
This
This
is
is-
really, really awesome.
This actually originally was kind of similar to Reyna's shielding ability, where you could just target a person and it would automatically hit them. But we've actually changed from that to it's actually a targeted skill now, where it fires out a projectile and you have to hit your ally with it.
If it doesn't hit an ally, right, it can land on the ground.
Yes,
and
if you miss, it will land on the ground and it'll just wait there. First
becomes a
person that
pickup.
runs through picks it up.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then it will just follow someone around. It increases their max health and it heals them over time.
Yeah, if you guys will watch in the match in just a few minutes, you'll see characters running around that have the little helicopter drone kind of over them with a beam coming down. That means the support drone is applying its effect to them.
Yeah,
Right.
and the effect does stack. You can put more than one on the same person.
Woohoo!
Cool. All right, and then a couple more skills here.
Yes, his passive Aura of Justice.
All right. Now, first off, before you say that, I'm gonna have to apologize to the stream because I think both at PAX this year and recently talking to Middle Mars in his video, we originally had a different passive.
Yes.
And the first
Okay.
passive that we tried with him was a passive where if he shoots a target, anyone who shoots it after him, or if he shoots a target that's
What it was originally
Right.
was if any of his allies
who
shoot
shot a
something,
target,
it would
he
like
shoots
highlight
one.
whatever they shot, and then if you shot that same target, you would do extra damage.
kind of like a Me Too.
So it really
Right.
was a like
Sidekick
follow the
ability.
leader kind of sidekick ability.
So that's not what it is now.
No,
Chuck, you want to tell us why we changed it, other than just to make me look bad, and what it
we
is
did
now?
it just to make Randy look bad.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
That was the only
Sad.
reason.
So
No, the
sad.
reason actually was we tried it out for a while, and there were kind of 2 problems with it. The first was that it felt very reactive and not proactive.
Right.
And the second reason was it's not really good at all in single player.
Yes.
If you don't have any allies with you, then there is no one to help you do the extra damage to the target.
I know I've seen some questions from the community that asks how much attention do we pay to campaign and single player campaign on the characters. The answer is a lot. We actually have to think through all of the decisions we make, whether it's a balance change or the creation of a new character, a new skill. They all have to go through that, and we really do work to try to be sure that most of the augments and the choices of the characters will benefit them, somehow in those modes. We've certainly got to be sure, like the main things, like the passives, the main abilities. We want to be sure that they aren't useless in single player or in co-op campaign play.
Cool.
Right.
So, I think it would be a really good time to just go ahead and just get into it.
All right.
Well, did we talk about the ultimate? Did you mention the
Oh,
ultimate? Last thing, and then we'll get
Last
into
but
it.
not
All right. So his ultimate is
This is really cool.
He transforms into this kind of hover mode. He pulls up his legs and he just kind of hovers above the ground. It's not really flying. You can't like pitch up and go fly through the sky or anything. You're still on the ground, but you're moving very fast.
Doubles his movement speed.
It doubles his top movement speed. It actually reduces his acceleration, so you can't get to top speed very fast. It actually makes him vulnerable to some crowd control that way. And his jump height is increased in that mode as well, so you have more mobility than you ordinarily would. And the really cool thing about it is it's called To the Rescue, because that's really what it's for, is you zoom across the map to wherever your allies are fighting, and then as soon as you hit the button again to exit that mode, he does a burst AoE heal. And the size of the heal actually is shown on the screen the whole time, and it depends on how fast you're going. So you really want to come in hot and exit right away and do a big burst heal.
Some good
to all your
expertise
allies
playing
around
that. All right,
Perfect.
let's look at
Let's
him.
do it. All right, so we're going to switch over to some matches. I believe we are doing a couple of matches of face-off mode, which is also
Yes.
a relatively
Face-off.
new mode.
Brand new for everyone last week. So Face Off
Yes.
was a free update to everyone that went out. I know there's some questions about did just season pass holders get that or not? No. We've up to this point really committed that anytime we release new PvP modes, any new competitive versus modes in
Those are for
Battleborn,
everyone.
those are for everyone.
Yeah.
And we're going to put them out. So
Excellent.
here we go in Face Off. We're going to play on Face Off Outback.
All right.
And we're going to mount up a team here.
All right. Very cool. So if you're planning on playing Kid Ultra, you're kind of trying to kind of group up with your friends, what's kind of the best sort of team composition in order to really make them shine?
Well, There are a couple things to consider there. The first, obviously, is since he's a healer, the healers work really well with tanks. So you might want to consider having another teammate that's maybe a Montana or a Galt or a tankier character like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Montana.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah, and here we go on this day, Montana. Yeah, everybody with the skin.
Everyone
here.
with the
This
skin.
is this. It's like everybody but Montana got the dark and gothic memo.
Incredibly festive today.
Montana's happy today.
Everybody's so festive. I love it.
There are a couple things to consider that we'll probably talk about later, but since Pendle's on here, there's some things to think about with the use of drones, or even with Miko's heal beam
Right.
on a stealth character.
Because-
you can give away their position.
Oh, good point.
Yeah,
So that's something to think about.
Yeah, you
as
put
a
a drone
team
on,
player.
on Pendles, it does not invis the drone, does it?
No, it does not.
No, it does not.
You'll have a drone following you around everywhere.
But I love your note about playing with the tank here. In the same way that I think Miko is a really good stick to a single target heal type thing, follow
Right.
around. Alani is pretty good about kind of spreading the heal around to a lot of places. Ambra can kind of leave it around in areas and do some stuff here and there. But Miko really, with that heal beam, Miko really at this point is the healer that hugs to like a tank or another character and really keeps them alive. And kind of the way Kid Ultra's healing drones work really does the same type of thing, right? Like you said, you can stack healing drones on them. You can follow a Montana, put 2 or 3 drones on them.
There's kind of a give or take there, because
Right.
with Miko you can heal as long as you want forever, basically. As long as your target doesn't die, you can keep healing them all you want. Kid Ultra's healing drones, they only heal for a certain amount of health, and then they'll self-destruct. So they have like a maximum limit. But you can heal more than one target at a time, and another advantage is whereas Miko can only heal one target at a time, you can put drones on 2 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so question from the chat. People are wondering, can he be relied on as the only healer on a team?
I've definitely played with him that way. I think that you definitely could. He's a little bit more of a frontline support character. He definitely wants to be up next to people. Like if you'll see the rings around him right now, that's his passive radius. So all of your allies should be able to see that. So as long as you are doing damage and participating in kills, if you score a kill or an assist as Kid Ultra, then that puts that passive radius around you, and then everyone inside that radius does bonus damage.
And speaking of the drones, can you recall the drone?
No, you can't.
Okay.
No.
Once it's on someone, it's on someone. The only way to take it off someone is if the cooldown is lapsed enough times. You can only have 2 drones out at a time, so as soon as you put out a third one, the oldest one dies.
Right. Now you can, like I said, if you don't aim it right at a person, if you aim it on the ground or you miss, the drone will go out.
Yeah,
In
you
fact,
can
you
see
see
one right
one
there.
over there on the other side of the pillar that
The
Kid
drone
Ultra put
just
out
kind
there.
of sitting on the ground.
It will stay there in place for a while before it goes away. So there's probably some expert play that we'll watch some players get into, where you could leave a drone in a place that another player is going to frequent or come back to, like I'm
Like
about to
right
base,
outside the
or
base.
right,
Yeah.
where you could leave it there for someone and they can pick it up and they have a few seconds of healing
Or in this
there.
mode, you could leave a drone right at the turn-in point, and then there'll
Yeah.
be one for whoever comes along.
There's a little bit of a skill shot to get that drone right on a player. And there will be a little bit of finesse play that a good kill player will have to engage in.
Another note that I don't know if we have a question about, but Kid Ultra can throw that drone right on the ground and pick it up himself.
Okay.
So you can heal yourself with it
Yes.
as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. As for his rockets, do they do splash damage?
Yes, they do. It's a very similar amount of damage radius to Benedict.
But just not nearly the damage amount.
No, it's not as much damage per rocket.
Yeah, he can, like a good support character, he can help with a wave clear, minion wave clear in those modes. He can hit several targets at once. In team fights, especially on face-off, you've got Varelsi camps and team fights around the point. He can sit in the back and continue, like Chuck was saying, think frontline support. He gets in there and mixes it up. Whereas like Reyna by default really is all about, she single target pistol damage. She can turn her other power fist into, there's a little splash damage off that. But Kid Ultra starts with that. And especially with the way his rockets work. This is some of the details I wanted to get out earlier because I think this is one of the brilliant things that you did with this, Chuck. So he starts, you'll notice Kid Ultra, I don't know if you can notice it, yeah, from this view you can actually see down the bottom right, he has 6 rounds on his rockets that he can fire.
Yeah.
So when he is single-shotting rockets, it consumes 1. When he triple shots, it does 3 at a time. So you can just, hold the trigger down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and all that. Or you can hold your other trigger or your other button down and do 3, 3, and then there's a load.
Right.
There's actually an augmentation you can take that adds 3 more shots before he has to reload. So if you're really a primary, you want to dig into that.
3 triple shots off.
You can get 3 triple shots off. Those triple shots, especially if you can learn to land those spiral shots, do really nice damage. I was playing him. In fact, I might have been playing him in an unreleased operation just early that involved a certain penguin. But there's a big enemy in there that I was taking down in the mix. And I was just laying on the triple shot damage. It's really good. Like in other modes, if you're playing classic story modes and all of that, you get a Thrall Brute, so those big guys like that have a lot of health. Medium damage, it's easy to sit at kind of a medium range and pepper them with those triple shots and do a lot of damage. And it's really good for him in that. So again, you can go attack damage with that. You can stack on it. It's ways to really get that damage feeling nice.
That triple shot is actually one reason why for Kid Ultra you might want to consider taking reload speed instead of attack speed.
Well, and if you really want to ignore his support abilities, and I've seen some people play like attack Miko.
Right.
You can do all that. But here's actually a pretty good typical loadout for support Kid Ultra. Right, you've got the deadly tissue synthesizer, heal power with some attack damage. It's actually a great secondary to have on that because it keeps him in that frontline support.
21% reload speed.
Big for him. It also keeps him in that frontline support. But again, you get him maximum health healing received. The healing received is useful again because he can pick up his own drone.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of drones and applying items, will heal power items boost the heal drones or just do natural health?
Yeah, I believe heal power will. In fact,
it's not health regen. It's
heal power. Yeah. In fact, we mentioned this kind of with every character that we release to talk about that. So, like all of our other Battleborn, he has a character legendary.
Yes, he does.
Chuck, you want to tell everybody about his character legendary that he can get?
Sure. His character legendary is called Dramatic Rescue. It is heal power and max shield. Mm-hmm. And then the special unique thing for Kid Ultra only is that as you are in your ultimate, it is actually timing how long you're in your ultimate. And then when you
flying around,
flying around, moving across the map, it times how long you're in there, and then based on how long you're in there, it increases your healing and damage for 10 seconds after you exit. So
up to 10 seconds, I believe. Right?
I think it's just 10 seconds.
So many masks right now. Someone is holding on to so many.
Oh yeah. So yeah, as soon as you exit your ultimate, for the next 10 seconds, you get increased healing and damage, but the amount, I think, is based on how long you were in your ultimate.
That was a big play, a lot of face-off freezes. That was a really good player. DeAndy was there with 140 mask, got the turn in. Pendles almost took her down, but she held there. I mean, that's so hard to do in face-off to make that decision. Like, are they going to be able to kill me before I get this turn-in done?
Yeah.
So it was a really good play on DeAndy. He got there just before Pendles, and Pendles maybe a little bit further away from the point that he needed to be to really act as that turn-in aggressor that he should have for his team. All right, so here we have, again, a big team fight here just off the center point. This is one of the most, I think, contested Varelsi camps on this map because it's just off the turn-in point. But he's there. Wow. This Kid Ultra Alani duo they've got going on here means they've got a lot of healing on their team.
2 healers is really strong.
Right. And Kid Ultra, that means Kid Ultra can really, in this match, and it probably has a good loadout for it, can really start thinking about really playing more of that frontline support.
Yeah.
I mean, here he's going back. He's actually going ahead and killing a Varelsi camp. If he's playing smart here, he's going to get in this radius. There he is, trying to keep Wrath in that buff radius where Wrath is getting that damage and healing buff. Mm-hmm. Wrath rebuying the Varelsi camp here to double down on the amount of points he's carrying. Kid Ultra carrying a few points himself, but his Wrath doing a really good job of getting in here and pouring that damage on. While Kid Ultra is doing just really good kind of positional support here. mixing up, adding a little bit of damage in there off that, and then it's going to completely ignore his wrath. His wrath is thinking about going and turning in. So
that was really interesting what you just said about how he was being aware of his position, where his allies were, and so that he could keep that buff radius around.
My help is needed.
We actually have a couple of legendary pieces of gear that give bonuses to people in our area around here as well.
Sure.
So those are good choices for Kid Ultra also. I think we got a couple all-for-one named pieces of gear.
which is radius healing received.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which means that if you're running that when you come out of that burst mode after his ult,
Then it's a big...
yeah,
big
you can.
boost.
That's another way to stack healing on top of that.
Lair, sweet lair.
We're getting a lot of love for Kid Ultra in the chat, from everything down to his taunts. There's a little run animation. Look at him go.
Yeah.
And even a question as to who did the voice acting
Ritual
for
is complete.
Oh my goodness! This is the one thing I forgot to look up before we got today.
Oh, no.
I did this last time with Ernest. I promised everyone I'd look it up. We'll have to get that right back to everyone after the stream. I'll pass it on to you, Elisa, and we can tweet that out. My apologies. I was looking at that list this morning because someone was asking who the voice actor was on Sister Aria. There's I think Kara who did the voice for Shane and Aurochs that also did Sister Aria, if I'm right on that. But I forgot to look up Kid Ultra, so I'm the worst. I literally am the worst. But I know that Kid Ultra will forgive me, and hopefully all of our viewers will forgive me as well for that.
But
Well-
he's fantastic. They love the way he looks, the way he runs around. It's awesome. Oh, look at him cover.
I do know. I will talk a little bit about this. When we went through the VO process, we spent a lot of time kind of debating. We actually went through a couple of rounds of creating the lines for him and defining his character with VO. We initially went really, really young with him, and kind of young and spunky. And I think the last direction we got from him, we kind of went through a couple of casting calls on that. And our last thing that we were looking for is what we kind of described as, if anybody's ever watched like not the newest one, but the kind of the I watched the classic Teen Titans, years ago with when my kids were younger. We watched that a lot. And I love, kind of the teenage Robin on that. That it's not young and kiddie and just happy and friendly. He's got a little bit more of that teenage edge on him.
Right.
We're trying to walk that line with him. You never want a voice to become too grating or too annoying, because if you like the character, you want to play him a lot, you've got to understand that you're going to hear some of those lines a lot. And so we wanted to find that voice for Kid Ultra where we really did that, we really put that in there. So we went with a little bit more of a kind of a teenage, just a little bit of grit in him, even though, he is young and does sound like that. But you do get that kind of heroic optimism in here. But,
I love a lot of his voice lines where he says things like, "Gonna fight for justice."
yeah.
That's excellent. As somebody who spent a significant amount of her childhood and teenage years watching a little something called Saturday morning cartoons.
I don't even know that you watch specific cartoons on Saturday morning anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing anymore, but I definitely feel it's a small little soft spot in my heart.
Well, and really all of Battleborn. I mean, I think Kid Ultra in a lot of ways is a manifestation of a lot of things that we did artistically and style-wise with where we were with Battleborn, kind of reliving our great nostalgia for the 80s and for 8-bit and those types of sounds and graphics. And in fact, thanks to our guy back here, Sean Ahern, who put together the 8-bit lead into the stream.
So good.
And then one of our sound designers and composers here in Gearbox, Raisin Varner, who did all of the music. So if you're listening to Kid Ultra and you hear him on the stream, you're noticing you have that great little, when he transforms to flight mode. Have we seen a flight mode here yet on him?
Yeah, I think
I'm sure we have. We haven't called it out. You have to interrupt me and call him out next time he does that. Watch when he transforms. Yeah, here we
There he
go.
goes.
Flight mode.
Wait, watch for the end.
And watch for the end. Boom.
the burst heal right there.
Yeah, it was actually really good. The camera was a little off on that, but he was actually right near that goal. And woohoo! Team 2 victory. All right, good job. So Kid Ultra kind of frontline support on there. Hit him out and hit it hard. Oh, I even noticed that the corners now of our video here have 8-bit.
It's the little touches
Sean overdid himself.
that make it feel like home here. on the
Unfortunately, we
Gearbox
didn't get an 8-bit Varnell on here, so
Yeah, I know.
We'll have to do that next time.
we'll have to do that.
Yes. Let's see. Are we going to have another look at him?
Yeah,
'Cause
let's. I
folks-
think
yeah.
we're going to queue up for one more match here. I think this time our goal is to get a Kid Ultra on both teams, so you can see that. Now we talked a little bit this time, Chuck, about kind of the kind of types of gear. We talked about his ultimate.
Yep.
We showed some different styles and some things that a Kid Ultra player is going to want to think about to be a good teammate. You know,
Right.
really using that radius indication to be sure your teammates are getting the most out of his passive.
Exactly.
To understand that, like when he goes to his to the rescue, uses his ultimate. Getting across the battlefield, and it's really that moment of transforming out that pop that
Right.
you're using for that big
There
burst. heal on
really
it.
is skill to that too, because you can see like the bubble radius around him while you are moving, and it grows the faster you move. So if you like collide with something just before that critical moment, then you can like lose. It shrinks right back down to just the size of him, and then only you get the
But
heal.
with that speed increase, I mean, on these face-off maps, you're getting a lot of quick combats that are close together. You don't have to
Right,
move very
right.
far. On the bigger maps, like on an incursion map or a meltdown map, where you may have to traverse more space. If you're playing capture, you're going to opposite points.
Right.
He really has a lot of ability to accelerate slow, but he gets up again to 200% his normal movement speed.
Exactly,
Across the
yeah.
battlefield a long way, and then when he shows up on the scene, there's a big burst of activity right there that can really turn the tide of a battle.
And also, since we were talking about gear, one other type of gear that's good on him is movement speed gear, because it'll actually increase your top speed in your ultimate by twice the amount.
Cool.
Awesome. Actually, I have some breaking news here. Some breaking news. The
Oh.
Kid Ultra voice actor is Alejandro Saab.
That's right. There
There you go.
Alejandro Saab. So very good. Thank you so much for our people that watch
Breaking
me.
news.
I won't-
And a bonus breaking news. Aria was Kara Edwards.
Kara Edwards. I got the Kara right. Kara
Yes.
Edwards.
Yeah.
Who was who also was Shayna.
Whoa,
Look at
at
that
the
Kid Ultra
skin,
gold
that
skin.
Kid Ultra. Look
So,
at him go.
The Kid Ultra skins are really cool. I like those. I think we've gotten better and better at making the skins. Even the ones that you'll unlock as a Kid Ultra character, I think are going to be really fun. Melko wearing one of her cool skins.
Now,
really
speaking
feel-
of Melka, we do have a Melka question, because there was a decent amount of chatter about Melka and her hair.
And her hair. What's the
See if there's a way that we can get some alternate hair.
alternate hair for Melka? So we're having
Yeah.
alternate hair requests. All right.
Yeah. There was a theme. So we're taking notes. We have an Arundi Jester skin. We
So,
have an Oscar
so-
Mike with lipstick.
So there's some people who want something other than the Melhawk.
Right. There's a lot of Melhawk chatter, but look at her doing her dance.
That looks
You too.
awesome when she
You
dances
see her,
around,
you
right?
see her in a bob.
Yeah.
You
with
can do
pigtails.
that dance today. That dance is available today.
All right, so here we are on also playing another round of face-off with on the Temples map out in the snowy part. A little bit more interior on the turn-in area on this one. A great fight kind of tucked down in the middle of all the temples. A little bit more enclosed Varelsi camps. There's a lot more separation on this face-off maps between the camps. Still, Kid Ultra, again, you're going to have a lot more group fights, a lot more clustering on this. So again, a good choice on Kid Ultra because you get a lot of radial bonuses. Now, kind of a weird strategy. He's pairing up here with Benedict. They both have kind of a rocket splash damage on this. Kid Ultra is kind of staying at a distance. Good. He's got one of his drones on Oscar Mike, keeping Oscar Mike topped off as he fights with the Varelsi here. But Benedict usually hangs out in the back a little bit. This might be a chance where Kid Ultra really wants to try to get a drone on Benedict and then go get down there in the front to someone else and play with it. Like all the support characters, though, Kid Ultra wants to be really careful about getting separated. He gets separated out from his teammates. He's not got the biggest health or shield pool. He can do some stuff with shield maybe, but he's going to go down pretty quickly. Chuck, you want to talk a little bit about, like, if you have an enemy Kid Ultra that's really giving your team problems, how would you go about countering a Kid Ultra? How do you shut him down?
Well, there's a couple things that you need to try and do. One is, as Kid Ultra, you have the slow on the bolas. Whenever he goes into his ultimate, save your bolas for that moment, and then you slow him down, and it really cripples his ultimate.
So CC is from anybody. It's not just another Kid Ultra. This is not just Kid Ultra on a Kid Ultra, but anybody
Right.
who has
Any
a good
CC.
CC, right?
That'll shut down his ultimate pretty hard.
And the things like, I mean, the skills you see like Montana's dash or Boulder dash or things like that.
Right. And it's not just a stun. Like any stun will cancel a player's skill, but with him, even a slow just makes him move so much slower than he would otherwise.
And his acceleration takes so long to get up, so it makes him really want to transform out and back that, and then he's wasted his ult.
Exactly. As far as his drones, if you want to counter his drones, it's a little bit harder for Kid Ultra himself to do that, but the drones are killable. So you can, if you have a bullet weapon like Oscar Mike or Whiskey Foxtrot,
Can you kill a drone that's already attached to another player?
Yes, you can.
All right.
You can kill them when they're attached, or you can kill them on the ground.
So precision attacks takes that away and keeps a player from
It's a
getting
little
that.
bit harder to hit with a projectile like a rocket, but with a bullet weapon like a assault rifle.
Good to know.
So we are getting some requests to check out his gold skin a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And
So he's
so shiny.
Yeah, he's back in the shadows here. You're definitely going to get that blue effect on it, which is going to make it look awfully green. But I love what we do, and all the skins do this to a degree. Again, his visor is now that cool red color.
Yeah.
Makes him look a lot more aggressive. There are a couple of skins for him, especially when you get some of the darker themes and all that. I really get fond of because it makes him look a little bit less like kid friendly and a little bit more like ultra damage.
Yeah, I really like on Kid Ultra. I like the black and purple, where the visor's purple and he's all in black.
That's his master of skin that we have for all the characters. So when you master Kid Ultra, there's a really awesome skin that comes out for him. I agree. That looks really cool.
And speaking of skins, people are asking, is he getting the last operations skin?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're committed to every time we release a new character, we have to be sure that the skins and the operations are all there for the characters. So Kid Ultra will have that, and in a few sometime in the future, I can't say, I was about to say a time period, but sometime in the future we'll talk about the fifth character.
Yes.
And that character will also have skins that'll work in the operation. So all the characters have skins that you can unlock by ranking up your character. You have skins that come with each operations for all the characters, which will end up with 5 characters that we've teased. That means we'll have 30 characters at that point. So that means there are 60 skins that you can account for now for those in each operation for characters. So they're really awesome.
Cool. Now we have some requests because they want to learn as much about.
This is the time to do it.
guy
Chuck is their
as
man.
possible.
Right.
So we're wondering if we could get a little bit of a deep dive into his.
Deep dive!
into his Helix and mutations.
Okay. Well, there's a couple things in this Helix that, like I said before, for his weapon, he's got the ability to increase his.
Sean, go ahead and bring up his Helix if you can, because as a spectator, you can do that. You can look at that. So.
Awesome.
So here we go, Missile Massacre. It increases the number of rockets he has by 3.
That's what I was talking about earlier, right?
Which means either you've got 3 more single shots or you've got 1 additional triple shot. And the way that works is if you don't have 3 rockets left, it will fire however many you have. So if you have 2 shots left, it'll just shoot 2. Over here, let's see. The bank shot, which I talked about, I think I mentioned it before. Bola Snare will actually bounce off the wall up to 3 times, and when it bounces off, it actually tries to hit an enemy. So it doesn't just bounce off at the angle of incidence. Getting all physical here with my physics.
It's a ricochet back into it.
It doesn't just ricochet off. It actually tries to hit a nearby enemy.
So a little bit of a homing bounce.
Yeah.
Cool.
Reassembling drones here, that's just a cooldown reduction. Let's see. Swarming Nanites here talks about the minor effect of Aura of Justice. Aura of Justice has 2 effects really. It has an effect for if you kill or participate in the kill of a minor enemy versus a major enemy. And this Swarming Nanites, it adds to when you kill a minor enemy, it also heals nearby allies instead of doing the damage.
So again, adds more consistent healing aura to that normal
So that's
aura.
your choice if like you're really coordinating well with your team and they're staying inside your damage aura. You can take the opportunity at that point to change it into a healing.
Great.
That gold skin. That looks so good. As for the drones, we had a question about AoEs affecting drones.
Yes, they can be hit with AoEs. The problem you'll find with that is that it's hard to hit the drones because they're over someone's head. So if you miss, you miss, unless they're backed up against the wall. But if you can manage to hit an AoE off their head or something, then you might hit the drone with it.
Now, people are so excited about Kid Ultra that they might want a situation where maybe everyone can play as some sort of a chaotic rumble type scenario. I don't know. Is that
We're looking into it. Certainly, what we did. We did that with Ernest when we released him. It was actually when we introduced Chaos Rumble and we brought it back up. And we promised that we're going to bring Chaos Rumble back again. So, yeah, I would imagine that sometime, pay attention to the battle plan that comes out next week and all that, and we'll see what we do. We're always looking at all of the queues that we have on the platforms and trying to be sure that we have the right amount of queues for the way players are playing the game now. So, there's some things that we need to do. We also just had Face Off come out. It's got its own queue. And we want to be careful about adding too many queues in because we have Face Off and Quick Match and Chaos Rumble and all that. It splits the community a little bit more than we need to at some times of the day. And so we've got some ideas on that. So, but we would love to do that. We might just, take Quick Match and relax the character uniqueness for a little bit. Switch Quick Match out for Chaos Rumble for a little bit. But yeah, we would like everybody to get a chance to play it. A team of 5 Kid Ultras would be hysterical. It would be
we
hysterical.
actually did have one problem with him with multiple Kid Ultras in co-op, in PvE. We had a problem where if all the Kid Ultras put their drones on the same character, there was a performance issue. So we've actually had to put in a limit of 4 drones per target maximum. Wow. So even if you're in Chaos Rumble and you have a team full of Kid Ultras, you can't all focus on one target with their drones.
That's good to know. That is very good to know. And people asking about lore challenges in association with it.
Well, they're certainly there.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Again, I don't want to give away all the surprise. Part of the lore challenges are supposed to be for people to dig into that and play it themselves and get all that. But yeah.
The one thing I would say is that when we're designing lore challenges in general, we try to pick things that the character does that are fun and encourage you to do those fun things.
So we'll let that be a surprise because he is literally just right around the corner, right?
Yeah. When can we expect folks to get their hands on Kid Ultra?
Well, I think if you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe next Thursday.
Yes.
People who have the season pass will be able to get Kid Ultra. Again, you get those hero tokens with season pass. You'll be able to spend a hero token on him, or if you've already spent those hero tokens, unlock something else. He'll be unlockable via credits, just like the other characters that we've done for the post-launch characters, the DLC characters. So. But he'll be out next Thursday for that, and then like we've done with the other characters prior to this, a week after that will be publicly available for everyone.
Check this out.
Right around the corner, and soon everybody will be able to Ad Astra save the universe.
Drones everywhere.
Drones. So forgive me if we've kind of brought this up before, but in terms of the maximum amount of drones that can be deployed at once,
it starts at 2.
okay.
And so if you're playing as Kid Ultra, you have 2 drones from the start. You can put them right on your allies before the match even starts. And then they'll run out and you'll have two allies with drones on them already. Later on down in the Helix, I believe it's level 7 or so, then you have the ability to increase it by 2 more. So you'll be able to have 4 drones.
Alright. We're seeing this match is a little on the lopsided side.
Sure, yellow team here is again, we've got a great composition for this. Galilea, again, a powerful choice again with Face Off. and paired up with the Kid Ultra, I mean, it just augments some of her self-healing ability that you can really do that. Galilea and Montana both, big tanky characters, both with a lot of damage, a lot of camp clearing ability on that. And then Phoebe, who can handle, again, kind of the role of cleanup, kind of assassin on points when people are coming in there trying to take down or try to do a turn-in and all of that. And then Melka the same way. So, again, 2 big tanky characters, Kid Ultra as a mobile support, and 2 assassins. It's a really great comp, especially taking advantage of Kid Ultra in there, who can either help the Varelsi point takedowns with his positive buffs on the players, or again can just keep everybody topped off with his drones. And if anybody else has a particular problem, like right in here, zoomed in, got that quick little burst of an ult, did a big AOE heal at a team fight on the point. Really just converting that really well. Only a couple of minutes left to go. Team 2, not enough points yet to win it. Team 1 has really gone on with a good defensive fight. Again, you got Grant, our balance designer there, playing Benedict on Team 1, really trying to give it his all. Really talented player. It's going to make it really hard for Team 2 to finish out at times. But then Alani healing out there. Again, both teams kind of running. No, Team 1 running with a double healer. They've given up again some tankiness and damage to do Alani and Kid Ultra together. And that's not working out as well for them as I think they would have hoped. Again, on face-off mode, if you don't get the points, if you don't take down other players, you don't take down the Varelsi, you don't create that point economy and get them in there, you'll go a little bit slower than the other team. So they've not been able to keep their kind of defensive a dual healer strategy going here in a way that's really converted to points for them. Team 1 has been able, probably again, then using Galilea and Montana on those points to go get the points, Kid Ultra to get to where he needs to be to top them off. Really doing a good job of keeping that point flowing in. Another great little score there by Kid Ultra, Grey Grim over there. Grey Grim, who is also Ian Childs, we had him on the stream last week. He is the face-off designer, so he knows exactly what he's doing on this mode.
He probably has a plan.
Probably comes to a plan. It's one of the. It's
oh, he went down.
one of the fun things at Gearbox. I say fun in the most euphemistic of ways here at Gearbox is when you get to play modes against the mode designers or characters who playing their own character designers. I remember a lot of early games with Chuck. Especially with Miko, where Chuck was very good with Miko, and it was extremely frustrating. Miko, and I think you also worked on
another one of those cases where the person who made the character
knows all the ins and outs. You did. Let's see, Chuck. You did. This is your first stream. You did Miko.
I did Miko.
You actually worked on Oscar Mike. You were the first originally. He was touched by most of our characters are touched by 2 or 3 character designers, but you did a lot of work on Oscar Mike.
Oscar Mike, but I finished him up.
Oscar Mike, whose character name when you took him,
he was Chuck.
Yes.
The
early code name for Oscar Mike was Chuck. I think Chuck Abrams at one point was his initial name. So Chuck on Chuck action there for a while of development. And then you also worked on Isaac for a while.
Isaac, yep. And then Reyna.
And then Reyna, and so Chuck, so Oscar Mike, Reyna, Isaac, Miko, Kid Ultra, and you touched a couple of others. You did, right?
Yeah, there's probably
those are the predominant. So good. So Chuck,
Atticus.
And Atticus, that's right. A lot of punchy.
Yeah.
So a lot of great work, and again, your characters have been some of my favorite to play. I think Miko is still one of the more iconic characters of the game. I was hearing someone in the Tachyon stream earlier talk about how Miko is just so much fun.
See,
something about a mushroom that is a ninja is just very.
So you get a little time.
He's a very fun guy.
Okay.
Because we haven't done that before.
I've never made that pun before. And before you put us off stage left, I do have to say it's very special. So today is my wife's birthday. So she's probably not watching the stream, but if she's out there, Carrie, I love her very much, and we're gonna have some amazing dinner later.
Oh.
So.
Okay. That was very, very sweet. That's very, very sweet. Let's it's a birthday. I'm feeling in a very giving mood.
Oh, as a day for gifts, a day for celebration.
It's a day for gifts. It's a day for celebration. It's a day for gifts.
Are we gonna do another code?
I mean, we're gonna do something.
All right. Well, what do we have,
We're gonna do
Elisa?
something. I'm gonna scooch on by. We already saw him in action. That was super fun. Remember that?
What? That gold? Is it the gold skin?
Remember that gold skin?
Baron Xavier Solar Savior.
Baron Xavier, Solus Savior. I mean,
great
if you
name.
were into that, then you can have it if you want.
If I remember right, I think all of the Kid Ultra skins are named after characters in his fictional cartoon. So
Really? Okay,
there's
I
a
was
lot of
about
that.
to
There's a
ask.
lot of that around with him. So there's the shift code for the gold skin for him. So everybody enjoy that.
Excellent. Everybody in the chat wishing your lady a happy birthday, by the way. So there you
Oh,
go.
well, thank you, everyone.
But there you go, folks. So once you get your hands on Kid Ultra, you can dress them up in a little something nice.
Ooh, a little
It'll be
blingy
great.
blingy.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
And no worries, in case you have folks that are really into this and they happen to miss a stream, we will also be posting the shift codes on our social channels. So be sure to follow us, follow, like, and subscribe, you guys. I mean, it's a big birthday, right?
It's an important. I can't say with
can't say how-
ladies,
Don't
you don't
say
say
the
anything
number.
about age.
You don't admit
You
you,
don't
know.
ever say
20,
a number.
28, absolutely.
Celebrating the
Forever.
anniversary of her 25th birthday.
I'm celebrating another wonderful year with my wife.
Aw, see, that's fantastic. I think, in addition, I feel a little mean, kind of giving away a skin for a person that people don't necessarily have yet.
So
Oh,
maybe
they can't
something
use
to
it
give
now.
away for other people that are just watching the stream and have stuck
like,
with us all
I
this
mean,
long.
Just because you're here, why not? Just because you're here, get yourself an LLC Commander Pack.
So LLC Commander Pack, because Kid Ultra LLC wanted to do that, and a legendary gear pack for everyone. So a big giveaway.
Hey!
Also, this is not only were we feeling generous and celebrating my wife's birthday here, but we wanted to, for all of you people who have been enjoying Atticus and the Thrall Rebellion of
Yes.
last week, thank you for all the shout, all the love. I'm glad you guys are enjoying that. And I know a lot of you have been looking for the legendaries in that.
Ooh, okay.
So we might have corrected a drop rate in that, and that's gonna be a little bit better. But just to say, we're sorry those have not been as frequently seen as possible. We wanted to give you guys some love out there for that.
Aw. There you go.
I didn't know what Joe was doing there for a second. I thought Marking Ninjas were about to kill, but seriously, we've upped the drop rate for that for you guys, and you should start seeing those legendaries with more frequency that are in the operation. They are there, we promise. Thank you guys for shouting out and saying it wasn't coming out as frequently as you saw. So, a couple of booster packs for you guys today. The gear packs. And a legendary pack, so it's guaranteed all legendary of some sort in that for you. And the LLC again, the LLC Commander Pack, which will guarantee a skin for an LLC character,
Cool.
good chance for a taunt for LLC character,
Nice.
and I believe all of us have the Kid Ultra skins in there. So if you really want that to be there, hold that. If you really want to look for a Kid Ultra skin, you want to hold that probably till next week when Kid Ultra goes live. So just a little pro tip there for you people who love those skins and want a chance at that, and then see if you get a chance there. If you already have it, if you open it up right now, you can't wait. And of course, if you get a skin for LLC character that you already have, it converts right to earned currency, which you can spend on more loot packs and more ways to buy things, which will give you a better chance of getting those in the future.
Perfect. So to review, Kid Ultra is coming soon next week.
Next Thursday.
Next
Whoop.
Thursday for all of you season pass holders, and then the week after that for everybody else.
Yes.
That is
Very soon.
excellent. Very, very soon. So, as always, if you have any more questions for us about Kid Ultra or anything else Battleborn related, please be sure to hit up all of our social and community sites. We're on Reddit. We've got forums. We got Twitter. We got the Facebooks. We've got all of the things for you. And thank you so very much for helping us learn a lot more about Kid Ultra.
Thank you very much. And Chuck,
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you for bringing Kid Ultra to the world.
I enjoy Kid Ultra a lot. He's probably, I probably say this about every character, but he's one of my favorites.
Good.
Yeah, just a really cool way to play support in a very active, like minute to minute, second to second, very mobile way. So
Cool.
Good.
Any parting words about Kid Ultra from you, Rand?
I'm with Chuck. Again, all of our support characters, don't be afraid of support characters in Battleborn. We've designed them all very intentionally to really mix it up, to give you a lot of energy and action with that. They all can hold their own in a fist fight. They won't be the max damage of anyone, but they're all really good. You can play them a lot of different roles. I cannot wait to see what you guys do with Kid Ultra when you get your hands on them in a week and surprise us in all the ways you always do. We're ready to hear your feedback. We're ready to see your awesome videos. Everything that you do, share it with the community, share it with Elisa, share it with Joe King, our community manager.
Yes.
Let us see what you're doing with them, and if you're liking him, if he has problems, we want to hear that too. We watch everything and want to hear your feedback, and hope you love him as much as Chuck and I love him.
That is fantastic. Well, on behalf of Chuck and Randy, major thanks to Sean there in the back running production, and Joe King holding it down in the chat.
And all of our great designers and developers who joined us and played with us in the stream today.
Yes.
Those guys taking time out of their schedule to be sure we have a good demonstration of what good gameplay looks like for you guys.
Yeah, so thank you to all our players, our production staff, community manager Joe King holding it down, Randy Varnell, Chuck Bartholomew. I have been Elisa Rockdog. We are going to see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
For something very, very special. I'm very happy to call you my friends, and we are going to learn a lot about friendship, potentially, in
Is that a hint?
in a bit.
Friendship.
In a min.
Friendship.
I think it's the glue that holds all of us together, and I think if you set your calendars for a couple of weeks from now, you are going to learn a little bit more about what that truly means. All right, so we are going to see you in a couple of weeks. On behalf of everybody here at Gearbox, I've been Elisa Rockdog. Thank you so very much, and go get Battleborn. See you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Incoming badass! Oh, hold on. No, it's Metal Mars. I mean, Metal Mars is badass, but not the bad kind of badass. Shut up, you know what I mean!